In this video help, we're going to be covering the vendor portal. We're also going to be looking at, on the list where they break down here, the vendor portal, the vendor list view, and the technical support library and technical support photos. And then we'll follow on with another video for the work order invoice and work order invoice list view. And there's also a report on the work order screen that we're going to be looking at, plus the obvious thing. We're going to be looking at the invoice work order. Okay, let's go ahead and show a little bit more of what we're looking at here. We're going to have the tech support portal. This has the information for a separate portal over here and another one for the photos. And basically what you're doing, based on the record that you're in, and this is the tech support ID number for number 2. In this particular case, it's Harry Smith. And remember now, each time you go to one of these records, this is the tech data that you're working with, and you can jump over to the portal and see this information, or you can jump over to the support photo names. And for each one of the items that you add in here, you can have multiple images. This is a scrolling portal. And of course, this is also a scrolling portal. And basically what you're doing in here, you have a support topic. The tech data support information goes in here, the inventory item, the part number. And what you're basically doing in this screen is you're looking for media and information that explains, and we already covered this in the other video, but tech data that supports the service and techniques and technical data that will support that particular effort that you're doing. In the case up here, it would be a support topic for a certain thing. And if over here in the record I was doing, say, some kind of a service on a device, then I can put that all over here as far as the supporting information that is technical. And in the same way we told you before that the detail one over here is for the individual rows. Let's pop over to the support video for the portal. Now the portal is very unique in that, once again, we create a record within a client's record, which is the tech support ID, and this is the tech support ID for this guy. Now, as you move between different records, you would get different support vendors that were created for a particular vendor. For example, if I click on the and enter data in here, you'll find that when you go to start to put it in, that if you already have that vendor in somebody else's record, it's going to stop you and put up a dialog and tell you that that vendor is already available in the vendor support area. So if I came down here and started writing example, and then I try to go here, it should come up and pop up and say, if I do the vendor example vendor, this looks different. If I put in vendor, it should pop back up and tell me. Oh, it helps to spell it right too. And put in vendor. It should pop up a dialog saying it's already in there. So vendor company is identified as being unique. Values only is not allowed duplicates. You could say, yes, I don't want you doing that. I only want you to say no or revert. And in this case, if I say revert, it's going to back out the information that I already had in there, and you'd have to add another set of data in there. Now, if you go to the portal over here, that'll take you to the information for that particular, all the vendors. So you go to the vendor, go to the vendor information down here, and now you have all the different vendors. Plus there is a list view for those vendors, and this is the list view. So if you're doing a find and you want to find a particular vendor, you would come over here and do start a find and then perform the find. Now, interestingly enough, you can use any of the rows. Say, for example, you want to find an individual vendor, or you want to find everybody within a certain city, or you want to find a particular vendor by an address, or you can use, say, the prefix for a telephone number, for example, to find everybody that's in that prefix phone area. And also, obviously, it would be the city. You can use it any way you want to, or, like we said before, you can go into the actual record itself and either look for a particular email, for example. You can actually even go into a product line notes thing and do a look for either a word or a phrase in there that you want to find all the records that include that particular phrase. Maybe you have something like a V8 engine. You want to see everybody that has V8 engines. Well, it would bring up all the records for those vendors, and when you go back over to the list view, you would see that in the list view as far as the items that you were looking for. And again, like I said, you can use the different fields depending upon what you have available to you. You could also use a zip code. If you wanted to find everybody within a zip code, you could do that in the find. Website, if you want to find websites that have a particular thing, like maybe that there's a number of different ones that you're interested in, you can find them by their prefix or anything within the body of that particular thing. Now remember, when you're using a find, it basically does a look by any amount. Like if I put in Ben, I'd get all the Bens. If I put in, say, ABC, I'd get everything that had ABC in it, and then I can go over and look in the list view to see those. Let's go down again, and we're looking at the, we did the technical support library on the other side, but I'm going to show you the actual screen in here and some of the things that are important. Now, we already covered this data in a previous video, but I want to point out that you do have in this screen, you have a little tech ID for the guys that have actually worked on these projects, being this one for tech ID number 1, and then tech ID number 2, and so forth for the guys that actually were related to work that is done in the technical aspect of these. And you can do a find up here to find the particular text that you're looking for, or you can use any of the information, say like a status for a support status. You can even find those, and of course you can edit them to add whatever you need to have in there as far as the tech support information. And over here you can zoom in to look at this in more detail and even actually scroll around it, or you can click on this, and what it'll do is it'll bring up the entire PDF file that is in this square over here. And you can't see the whole thing in the screen, but basically what it does, it'll bring up this, and then if you click back over here, you can continue using this over here, or you can bring it back over here and then just quit it. And depending on the device you're on, like if you're on the iPad or iPhone, clicking in an open space or pushing the done button at the top or bottom of the screen brings you back to the record that you're looking at. These things, like I said before, you can actually click in and zoom in so you can get a better view of it. And you can also do things like, in this case, just show you the default thing that it's showing. It's actually going out there and creating a thing, and I'm not going to worry about it. But you can also back out and even show it as a more full up type of an item. Okay, in this particular case, we're going to conclude this video, and we've done everything down to the work order invoice. And the last video we're going to do for the technical aspects of this app is the work order invoice and work order list view. There may be other videos that will be added over time, so take a look in your listing on your videos on the detail page of the website for the item that you own. And from time to time, if people that like yourself are giving me good information that might be of interest to other people, or through technical support requests for information, if we find some things that are more interesting that should be in a video, we'll create a new video and add it to the videos that are available in the help. So if you're over here, say for example, and you go to the main screen, then the videos that show up here on the video help will be those that are out there that are related to the new videos that we add, because you're going to see pretty much in here as it finally gets up there that all the videos that you would want to view are currently in the application and built in, and you would go ahead and use those. It's taking a little time to come up because I'm actually uploading to YouTube right now. But these would be all the videos that would be in there as far as the ones that belong to this application. And as we complete more, they'll fill up the whole screen down here over time. And I already covered the videos as far as how to use this screen, so you should be pretty aware of that. But let's say this. If you need help, always contact us either through ontargetsolutions.biz, or if you have our email, or if you're on Skype, you can contact us through Skype. Especially the people that have this application, we use Skype to support people where we can either look at your screen and answer questions, or we can put up the app for you, and then you can see the way we're actually using it to provide information to the application, and then you'll see the techniques we're using. Another thing about this, obviously up here, this little thing here is view at 720 HD. It helps a lot to see these in HD video. Okay, this concludes this, and if I were going to leave, I could always click log out and leave on the different places where I'm using the application. Okay, let's move on to the next video.